Harlan. How you doing?
Well, no complaints. No complaints.
Harlan, we
It's
need.
earnings season. It's buy the rumor, sell the news. That's pretty much Buffalo Wild Wings. So you guys pretty much hit the nail on the head. I mean, when you see these stocks, when they run up into earnings, you got to take the money and run. So
Yeah, it's giving it to you ahead of time, and for them to continue running up, like even the IBM quarter, remember that from a couple of weeks ago there, that they came out and they had the whole deal with Apple and IBM popped $7 or $8 the day before the earnings report, and then they come out and they had a really awesome earnings report, but it already run up $7, $8. I mean, what more do you want? So, and then they sold the
right, that's
stock
just
off
it.
the earnings report. So when they're giving you the money ahead of the earnings report, it's probably a good idea to take some chips off the table.
Well, we talked about that last week. Microsoft. We talked about it last week, where it popped up ahead of the earnings.
On Intel. Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, here it is. You got nothing to show for it. So the moral of the story is, don't chase a bus. Let the bus go. There's always going to be another bus coming. That's just the way I do it. So I
Harlan's
just hate
all about.
buying.
Yeah, you're always all about those setups there, and you were having some nice setups in the plug power and the Ballard power. You were talking about those last week. Are you still along those plug power, Ballard
Yep.
power?
Yeah. I'm just still hanging on. They're just kind of doing their own thing, building the pattern even bigger. Plug kind of eked a little bit yesterday, but it's looking right now. Yeah, $5 is a pretty decent support, and the 50-day is starting to climb. So I'm okay with those. If they put in what I call the pullback off highs pattern, like Buffalo Wild Wings did when it came down and hit the 50-day moving average, let them build out and let them cross to the upside, and I'll add to them. So one step at a time.
Brentster, what's going on with NQ Mobile? We've got it's just
Receiving a
taking.
non-binding proposal to buy all outstanding shares at 980 per ADS.
Well, say that again. Who is?
It looks like the company announces. Oh, excuse me. Let me see who it is. It is Bison Capital.
Bison Capital giving an offer to buy all outstanding shares at $9.80.
That's what
That's
we're
right.
hearing.
That's right.
That's on the tape.
Wow, you got the stock here close 690. We're popping at 830 here right now, so a little ways under that $9 price or $9. What was the price? 980.
Yeah, 980, and I mean, it closed at 690 yesterday.
Just popped up to 919 here, so not big believers after hitting at 919. We've already pulled back a stick off of that, so some skepticism here about that deal being done. Looking at pre-market trading, you had a high at 919, as I mentioned. 910 was your high on June 11th. But Harlan, we got to talk to you about a couple stocks here, and
Sure.
we got to talk to you about Twitter here, and
I'm selling at the open.
yeah,
Buy the rumor, sell the news. We actually bought it yesterday ahead of earnings, and
Whoa,
the reason
nice.
we did.
Nice.
We have a what's called an earnings call service, and all it does is you're trading the swings. The from earnings reactions is what it is. It's not so much the technicals. It's like you said, it's the reactions. The technicals kind of come into play. Like Buffalo Wild Wings was a good example. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Microsoft was already built in, stuff like that. But one of the reasons we bought it yesterday is because, just what you were alluding to, everybody was so negative on it. And I think I saw 4 or 5 huge headline articles on marketwatch.com. And I said, you know what? None of these articles sound very pretty. And I'm saying, I got a funny feeling they're going to take the put buyers and they are just going to bury them. So, so be it. The risk was it comes down to 30 on a miss, and I was willing to, if it came down to 30, okay, I was willing to sit with it there because that is a support. So, I measured my risk, and I was willing to take the risk. So, if you're willing to take the risk, you're going to get paid. And, the flip side is, you can lose too. So no risk, no reward, as they say.
one other
So,
thing.
but it is. Go on.
No, I was just going to say one other thing, and it's just as I was putting my orders in, and I should have been aware of this earlier. I heard that the CEO of Twitter was coming on CNBC, and I'm thinking to myself, I know this is a little bit conspiracy theory, but why would he come on if they didn't blow out earnings? And they didn't have a blowout number.
Right.
And
It's a good point.
I tried to message you, Dennis, and then I tried to buy some more, and then of course, I'm trading at 3:59 and 31 seconds, and trying to do cancel replace on the orders, so I wasn't able to get any more on. But I wish I'd been paying closer attention to CNBC, knowing that. I mean, is he going to come on when the stock's down to $8? I mean, it's no.
And be made a fool of, right?
Yep.
So no, I get you, and that's thinking outside the box, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was weird. And then also the other thing, just the way it was bunching up there, it had 3 or 4 days of just really tight ranges. So in that situation, I usually do a strangle or maybe a straddle or something. But I don't know. Nick Shaheen talked to me into it with, the World Cup traffic. And you think about it too, longer run, I mean, just think about like the next presidential election or something else, like, what kind of who knows, they might announce, the Twitter might announce the winner before before any of the major TV stations do. But
Would it surprise you? Not at all.
no. What about
You
we got a question about AK Steel here, and we have a trader in the room here that's looking at the issue. I know it's a lower price stock here, but any take on that?
Well, I'm looking at it. I'm not so worried that it's a lower price stock, but I right away 7 3/4 support jumps out at me. For me, I'm always right away. I look at the chart, and within 2 seconds, I'm saying to myself, "Where's support? Where's support?" Because that's what I use to measure my risk. Of course, there's a lot of 8.5. About half a month of July here, it was bumping its head on 8.5. So there's a short-term support at 8.5. Major support is that 7 3/4, and those two zones, they define your risk if you're taking a trade right here. Meaning your fluctuation risk. Meaning, if we get into a sloppy market, that issue could come right down to those levels, and you could still be okay, and its uptrend off the June lows could still be intact. So that's the way I use support, resistance, things like that. But me personally right here, would I buy it right here? I'm just not seeing the pattern that I like right now. But I'm a pullback guy. So, I let them come to me, and some do, some don't. If you're long, just line up your bottoms off of towards the end of June that spiked down to like 7 1/4. Line up your bottoms. There's your trend channel.
I think
line up your bottoms, line up your tops.
I see your 7 3/4 support level though. If I was holding this thing long in my portfolio or on a day trade, I don't like that it got up to 945 yesterday and then came all the way back down, closed near the lows. But if you look at like the last, let's say 2, 4, 5 trading sessions, 867 to 885, you split that the whole 870 level. I think that I'd be a little bit cautious if it took out 870. I think you could easily see 822 and go down under $8. But it held up yesterday, trading up a little bit in the pre-market. Obviously, 945 is a key level. That's the highest that this stock has been, I believe, since 2012. You actually had a 974 high back in February of 2012. Couple stocks coming out of the chat we'd like your opinion on. One is BDSI. And
This looks like a Harlan stock.
yeah, this is a Harlan stock.
Is that Barrett business? No, it's not. BD, Biodelivery?
Biodelivery Sciences, yeah.
Yeah. There's those crazy Wild West bio stocks, huh? You either love them or you hate them, I guess.
Look at that support, though. Holy mackerel.
Well, as long as it's above the 50-day, everything is fine. Stocks that are above the 50-day, they tend to stay above the 50-day. You can line up your lows off of the April lows, and you got a nice uptrend here, going on. So the trend is your friend, as you guys said earlier, and that's the truth. I'd watch the 14.5 zone, because if it comes up there, bumps its head and fails, that could be a double top. It's resistance at the least. So if you own it, depending on whether you're an investor or a trader or a scalper, if you're more of a longer term guy, I'm going to use the 50-day as my guide.
A little bit shorter term.
I got nothing bad to say.
Yeah, 1240, boy. Look at all those lows that it had. Had 5 lows in a row right around that 1240 area. So, that's good support. Just looking on the chart here. Now, you stuck your head over $13 after a couple struggles there at 13 and 1302. Got up to 1316 yesterday, 1305 close. This is one I'd like, if you're going to get follow through up to that 1377 level, I don't want to see it dipping under 30. Hold 13, open up here, be bid, maybe, some size bid in the, in the book will, give you a little confidence, even though it's a NASDAQ stock, so it'll be a little bit more difficult. But to me, you stuck your head over 13 yesterday, you mopped up a seller. Perhaps there's a little bit more freedom to move up, but when it came down hard off that 1377, some people are probably going to take an opportunity ahead of that level. Another one for you is NWBO. Is that wild child that does all the reverse splits? No, that's a different one.
That was I think it's even delisted. That was NEWL you were thinking of.
What do you think about Northwest? What is this? Oh, another biotherapy. Yeah.
Biotherapeutics.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you, the thing that jumps out at me when I look at this stock is the right side crossover. Mid-June, where it broke above, let's call it 6 3/4, and bam, went straight up to 9. This is what we talk about. You got to sell your peanuts while the circus is in town. That's a huge move. When you look at from 6 3/4 to 9 in a couple of days. Whenever these stocks go vertical like this, that's your cue to lock those gains down. And not get emotional. Become disciplined and just keep ringing the register and ringing the register. You're never going to go broke taking a profit, right? So, and of course, once the dust settles, obviously, you can see what happened to the stock. Right now, I'm not seeing anything that jumps out at me right here that says I need to buy this. Yeah, it's crossing back over the 50-day. That's healthy. But again, I like to see those nice, tight pullback off highs. Patterns. So
drug news,
and,
right?
You got to look at.
Yeah, you got to keep an eye on the drug news. It had some positive responses in DC, VAX, direct patients to date. It's all about drug trials. The results of those, keeping an eye on it. Now it's coming back up. You could get a really minuscule head and shoulders here, head and shoulders bottom if you want to, look at that pattern. Also, what else do we have coming out of the chat here? NOAH, NOAH. Got a take on that one?
Let's see. That's the
NOAH Holdings Limited.
NOAH Holdings.
No idea.
See, there's that breakout right over. I'm going to call it 14 3/4 if you back out that little spike at the beginning of July. So just draw a line across the 14 3/4. That was the breakout of a bottom, what I'll call bottom of a cup. Now it's coming up the right side of the cup. You're a little late to the party from a few days ago, but who knows? Maybe it runs up to 17.5-ish, puts in a handle, and then breaks to the upside. So, but right now, for me anyway, I'm a little late to the party if I'm looking at buying it here because it just, 15 to, let's call it 17, percentage-wise when you're looking at teenagers, that's a pretty healthy return.
Right. Nice move up. You always like to see when something closed near the high. It's on a real nice 3-day run. You like to see it, hold the close, plow through that 1680, get a little bit more momentum going. Things open up to that 1786, but stocks like this need to, when you close right near the high like that, you like that momentum to continue. We haven't talked about the 3D printing sector in a while, Triple D. Any take on this, Harlan? It's tried to rally a few times. It's got turned back, and then it puts in a little double bottom area and then flushes people out. What do you think about this one?
I think they report tomorrow. I think they report earnings tomorrow.
I'll find it.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So, of course, it's going to be birds of a feather flock together because SSYS, XONE,
Yeah.
and PRLB are in the same group. So, 3D systems, well, look at it. Look where it pulled back to. It pulled back to that prior support zone back in June, at the beginning of June and stuff. So you have a lot of supply in there, which is healthy. That can act as a floor. And, you got a nice pop up yesterday. Now it's just a matter of, is it going to follow through? But if you line up your tops off of the 1st of July, minus that big spike over to 70, back out that reactionary spike once. It's got a nice tight trend channel here that is an issue that is pulling back off its highs. So, the market's going to make the call.
It does
I don't have
report
anything bad
there.
to say about it.
Yeah, you're correct. It does report tomorrow morning, 3D Systems. This is one that I was actually looking and adding them, all three of these stocks, to my itchy list here a few days ago. There was a little shakedown, though. I was looking at it around 53, and it got all the way down to 51.60, but then kind of put a double bottom in at 51.60, 51.64. And then we had the nice move up here yesterday. Now you're getting another move up here in the pre-market. Could have a strong day ahead of tomorrow's earnings report because some of these stocks seem to run up. Keep an eye on the XONE, like you said, Harlan, and the SSYS. Both of those stocks, SSYS has been holding its support, so it hasn't broke down, but it has major resistance up there just over 105 here too. So will be interesting to see what 3D Systems does say. Harlan, one more thing before we ask. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right with SSYS. I mean, look at it. I mean, the market, you got to admit, this month, the NASDAQ and the S&P are basically flat for the month. But there's been really, some pretty decent swings within that chop fest, if you will. But, every time the market is like the NASDAQ, we had a few days where it just got hit pretty hard. And, it bounces back. Buy-on dippers come back, right? Look at SSYS. It's holding. This is what we mean by a market of stocks. So, this thing, the action on this stock is it's holding down here. We bought this yesterday. So I'm in at 103.04. So a couple of things are going to happen, when 3D reports. Either if 3D takes off, great. We're there playing a
sympathy play.
Sympathy play, right? And if it tanks, well, guess what? Maybe it comes down to 90 and I lose, 10 points on it, 10%. So that one we own. Going on before I cut you off, you were talking.
Wicked consolidation here, going all the way back to the beginning of July. You had a 101 low on that day and a 105.75 high, 73 high. It's traded between 101 and 107.53 here, all the way since July 10th. So might be worth a straddle at this current level, or a strangle if you want to go the outliers. One more before we let you go, Harlan. Lock, L-O-C-K. Is the party just beginning in here? Are they unlocking value?
You know what the chart looks like? It looks just like Twitter before Twitter took off yesterday after the close.
Okay.
It's kind of got that, off the May lows, you did your initial run up and then it pulled back to the 50-day. And here, the 50-day zone got defended, and here it's starting to wake up and walk its way up. You're going to have some short-term resistance at 14.5, the highs of June. So, but, I have nothing bad to say about it. If you own it, don't let it go below the 50-day moving average.
Okay. All right,
that's,
Harlan,
that's
we're gonna let you slide here, and we're gonna go to Brianna with headlines. We've had Harlan Pyan. He's co-founder of All About Trends. You can check that out on MarketFi. Very consistent in his pattern and looking at the market, and we appreciate your input every Wednesday, Harlan. So have a good trading day.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Take care, everyone.
Harlan.